Hi friends, what's going on? As you know, this video is about a USB passkey, so I decided to search this term on Google, and here's the results. You can see tons of USB passkey products just on the first page of Google. You can buy any of them you like, but the big question here is, can you really trust any of these products and connect them safely to your workplace computer or any computer that might contain sensitive data? The answer is no, you cannot trust, because we live in a jungle, so you have to protect yourself. My suggestion is that you build this USB passkey yourself. Let me explain. Do you remember this modified Digispark board from the previous video? I used the same concept to design this schematic and PCB using Digispark firmware and 80tiny85 microcontroller. The main benefit of this USB passkey is that you program this yourself, so you are sure what you're doing and you are sure that there is no malicious code in this USB passkey. So here is the schematic diagram, and this one is the PCB layout. Let me show you the board in 3D. Here is the top side. As you see, even I have considered this screw hole, and here is the bottom side. But you might ask why I always use Altium Develop in designing my PCB projects. What's the benefit of this Altium Develop? What's the catch? Altium Develop offers many features, but one stands out. It makes teamwork easy, especially on complex PCB projects. Imagine you're on a team where one person works on power supply, another designs digital circuits, someone else handles RF parts, such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LNA, mixers, and another team member creates component libraries and prepares the bill of materials. If you rely on traditional methods such as email, shared folders, screenshots, and PDFs, things get messy. You end up with a bunch of schematic and PCB files, misunderstandings, and frustration. This will delay your project, stress the team members, and affect the company's revenue and reputation. The difference is obvious, so I won't explain more. Follow this link in the YouTube video description, sign up on the Altium website, and test it with your 1-month free legal license. With that sign up, you can also download the project files from this link. So anyway, let's come back to the schematic and explain from this left edge and this USB connector. This connector is much easier than USB Type-C because it has 4 pins, and these two are related to the shield connection. Now, the controversial question, why I didn't connect the shield directly to the ground? Because the shield is the continuation of the Faraday cage, and the Faraday cage is the metal case of the computer or the host. So, if the device or this circuit has a metal enclosure, then you must connect the shield to the ground. Otherwise, either left the shield pins floating, which I don't recommend, or use an RC filter like this on the shield pins. You might agree or disagree with this method, so just let me know in the comments section and your reasons. This component protects the microcontroller pins against possible noises and transients on the USB data lines, I mean pin 2 and 3. You might ask, what's the source of such a noise and transients? A good example is when you plug and unplug your USB device, especially if that USB device has a cable. Then such a noises or transients are likely to happen. So these components are manufactured specifically for such a purpose. They include several fast and low capacitance Schottky diodes to be able to react fast enough and absorb high frequency and sharp transients. Anyway, I think you got what I mean. Let's go to this side. So this pull-up resistor is to tell the host or computer that we want to communicate in low speed. These 3 components create a low-pass RC filter to minimize the noise on the VCC pin of the microcontroller, put this C2 or 1 microfarad capacitor as close as possible to the VCC pin for EMC reasons. These two Zener diodes are to reduce the voltage level on these two pins because the USB data lines, the logic is maximum 3.3, between 3.3 and 3.6, so we use 3.6 Zener diodes. In the previous circuit, I received a complaint from a user that he does not like such a package for a Zener diode. So this time, this package, SOD123, I hope you like this circuit now. Let's go to this side. So these three pull-up resistors are connected to these three tactile push buttons. So the buttons will be active low. So connection to ground activates the code or whatever. Actually, the trigger is active low or the ground. And these three capacitors are to debounce these tactile push buttons. I don't know the part number for these specific push buttons, so I put an image for you to realize what type of push button I mean, or what type of push button I used for this PCB. I covered everything, isn't it? No, this one. So here, this LED actually acts for two purposes. First, it shows that the power is connected, and then it shows that the USB device is ready. So when this LED is on, then you can press these tactile push buttons and execute your password function. So why I didn't connect this side of the resistor to the PB5 and not VBus? Because my intention was to detect when the USB device is ready, because it takes some time between the connection of the USB passkey or this circuit to the computer and when the firmware is executed inside the microcontroller and when the device is ready. Then this LED shows the user that the firmware is ready and he can push any of these tactile push buttons. So you know, this LED serves two purposes. Anyway, let's go to the PCB. So this is a 2-layer PCB, pretty easy to fabricate and solder even using an ordinary soldering iron. Let me enable this single layer mode from here. So here is the top layer, you can see the grounding and vias, and here is the bottom. Except for these three tracks, I can say this is almost a solid ground plane. It provides a low impedance return path for the signals on the top. Let me show you what I mean. For example, if you look at the USB data lines or D+ and D- lines or tracks, you can see in almost all areas I have covered the bottom layer with that low impedance return path. This is pretty mandatory for high speed lines, although in this circuit the USB speed is low, but we can practice. What's the problem? Even here I have not left the area empty. I have implemented this something like via shielding. Why not? Even for the bottom or beneath of this microcontroller and the rest of the areas of this PCB, you can see the vias. Let me show you the board in 3D. You see, pretty beautiful, isn't it? So let's go to the next section. I will show you an example code. So here is a sample code in the Arduino IDE, pretty easy, and you can modify any part you like. Here I have used one of the buttons to log into the Facebook, and here is the important part. When the pin is high or when the LED is on, do you remember in the schematic? So it means the firmware is ready or the USB passkey device is ready, then the user can press any button he likes. So don't forget about this in your own code. That's why I have emphasized about that LED in the schematic. So that's it. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to share and subscribe. See you in the next video.